Hello, Toolboxers, and welcome to episode number 284 of the Immigration Lawyer Toolbox magazine. Today, we're having an interview with Nadine Heitz. She's a regular on the show where we talk about immigration tech and management, and she has some great tips in here that really make this episode worth listening to streamline your office and take things to the next level. We even get into artificial intelligence and AI and stuff like that. So something fun to listen to that would be real helpful. So we're here, as always, the guest is here to improve your law practice in your life. And as part of that, I started a new mentorship program, a peer group program that's I'm involved in for solo and small practitioners who want to take their practice the next level, to share information and push each other to reach those new heights. If you're interested in that program, just email me. I'll give you more information there. But we had our first meeting. It was wonderful. We learned a lot and shared a lot of information, and just a lot of positive stuff comes from it. If you're interested, it is a premium group. There is a fee for membership, but you're going to get a lot out of it. Just let me know. Having said that, I did a free CLE on Iranian immigration. If you have ever going to deal with an Iranian client, you need to watch this and know the issues that exist when you're immigrating somebody from Iran. It's free on the circle.so page for the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox. If you're a lawyer and you want to be part of it and get access to it, just email me. Give me evidence that your bar number, something like that, and I could add to that group so you can check it out. There's much more content there. We're just adding stuff regularly, so I think you're going to like that a lot. I do want to thank our sponsor for this episode, which is Cerenade, which y'all know. Cerenade, they have the eIMMIGRATION platform. It's a modern practice management software for immigration attorneys and other legal professionals to manage their cases, clients, forms, billing, all in one place. The software is trusted by thousands of happy attorneys, and in 2022, it even earned the highest rating for immigration software on both Capterra and G2, best value and best ease of use, amongst other awards. But what really separates immigration from the pack is its comprehensiveness across all 100 features. These include features you might not use today, but can save you time, like e-filing system. eIMMIGRATION is the only platform that offers e-filing for all USCIS forms. Stop paying for multiple softwares. Use immigration to handle your practice needs. I did an interview with the founder. It goes into a lot of the stuff they have. Check it out. There's a few podcasts ago, but it's definitely worth listening to. But if you want to do a demo, which I do recommend, go to cerenade.com/eImmigration, the website, to check it out, or go to sales@cerenade.com. Cerenade is with a C, to contact them. They have a special deal where if you mention Immigration Lawyers Toolbox 2023, you get a bunch of discounts, probably $1,000 plus in discounts on different aspects of it. So you really want to check that out and talk with them and give it a try. If you're in the field of looking for this kind of stuff, something that's going to be really helpful. Having said all that, we're not getting into legal guidance here, but no individual legal guidance. The lawyer talk that we have to say, get a lawyer, hire a lawyer for legal guidance. I do want to mention that the courses we have, our marriage immigration course is really beefing up. It's called the Champions for Freedom program because we're helping you get your freedom by learning this skill. For a lot of people who are just graduating law school and want to learn some postgraduate study, how to practice law, or people switching over. You have a lot of people like that, and they get a lot out of it to help build their practice with the core of marriage immigration, which includes family immigration, adjustment of status and disability, consular processing, all that kind of stuff. If you're interested in the course, email me at info@immigrationlawyertoolbox.com. It's a lot of fun, and we have office hours regularly, so we keep the energy alive of just educating and asking questions in a group setting and individual settings as well, with our one-on-one office hours that comes with it. I think you're gonna enjoy it a lot. Just email me if you're interested in that. And having said all that, let's get the party started. Hi, Nadine. Thanks for coming on the show again.
Hey, I'm glad to always talk with you, John. Thank you.
I appreciate it. I love having this regular segment. You're so kind to give an article for the magazine, which is coming out hopefully sometime next week or two. I don't know. Hopefully this month. But you're not only a great immigration attorney, you're a tech guru for our community. You're speaking at the AILA conference, at the Paralegal AILA conference this summer. Is that correct?
Yeah, both the AILA National and the Paralegal Conference. Yeah, so on Monday, I'll be at the Paralegal Conference on a panel there. I think we're doing something like 30 tech tips in 30 minutes. That'll be kind of fun. And for AILA National, I'm on a really interesting panel. We're going to be talking about AI. So, ChatGPT and all that stuff. So, as well as just in general, how to automate better. But I think that's really a hot topic now.
One thing we're going to talk about is kind of highlighting the article you wrote, which is about calendaring, the Calendly system. A lot of questions I want to ask you about that. But since you did mention ChatGPT, how deep have you gotten into that and other kind of AI software?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of addictive, right? Once you start using it, you really can find so many uses for it. I think the key in making that work is really recognizing that you can't use it verbatim, but it can certainly give you some ideas.
Yeah.
And I've just found several uses for it. What I thought was really interesting, and this was demoed to me by another immigration attorney. And I thought this was cool that you could actually plug in the facts of your client's declaration statement and tell ChatGPT to write this in a declaration format
Hmm.
for a asylum case. Maybe it's a
Yeah.
declaration statement of, how they've been harmed. And it'll actually put it into the format. It'll even do the beginning part, I declare under the penalty of perjury and all
Yeah.
that. Put point number one, point number two, and kind of make sense of a whole bunch of stuff that you may have fed it. So I think ChatGPT is really good at summarizing, maybe making something more easier to read and understandable. And you just have to converse with it like you're talking to a person. It seems to
Yeah.
work better that way. So, but there is some cool stuff coming out. I'll give you a little hint that at the AILA National Conference, there's going to be a vendor, somebody that I know who's developed an AI system based on the ChatGPT technology for asylum brief writing and specifically for immigration attorneys, where the system has been fed the information so that it'll be correct, right? Because that's the fear, is asking ChatGPT to do something and then it can tend to make things up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've had that. I've done research through it. I've between the toolbox itself, I've been working with developers to try to create a system to use ChatGPT or AI systems, and it's hard because feeding the information for them to understand it's hard. And in one sense, I was like, because I have a friends that do this, so I try on the consumer end, but it's too risky. Like for example, like have a citizenship chat box there, or just something general. People like one is don't know what to even ask, so they might mean a green card and they mean naturalization, but they just always say citizenship. I want my
Right,
citizenship. I have a chat on my
right,
website, and so
exactly.
it's really hard to fine tune it. So I went down the toolbox side, which is business to business, which is like our peers, so they know to have some ability to discern what's right and wrong and to research themselves. But even within that, it just gets so complex. So I had to like narrow down the area of law. I'm narrowing down more and more. Just start small. But when it comes to legal stuff, it's still hard to have something it can be a general tool, but it's hard to get that exact. I'm interested. I'm going to be in Orlando as well on a Saturday and talking about social media and marketing. So I'm definitely going to check that vendor out to see what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it's a whole new world out there, right? I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
we're anywhere near to being replaced as of yet, but we
yeah.
can use it ourselves as a tool to do our own work more efficiently, as long as we recognize the limitations.
Yeah, it just gonna make it more powerful. It's like having a car instead of walking somewhere. You're gonna get farther,
Exactly.
more stuff, and that's
Right.
that's the best way to take it. And it might take away some more work, but at the same time, it always creates more work. Maybe it takes away from we have more bandwidth to get more clients because more people will lowers our price and more people will come. There's all sorts of different ways to look at it as long as you just
Right.
use it right. I
Right.
recently how should I put this? So there's a lot of software out there for note taking, this and that. I've heard about Notion being a really good software, and I tried it once. I couldn't understand it, but I was listening to some other people and like it's great. So I really just got into Notion, this app, like a
Yeah.
week now, and I'm getting more and more into it now. I'm plugging it in, and it has an AI within it, and I don't know how to use it exactly. But sometimes I mistakenly use it, and it comes out some really good stuff. So have you heard of Notion? Are you a
Yeah, I
user of
have
that?
heard of it. Yeah. I wasn't aware of the AI component added to it, which I'm sure makes it even more powerful. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
think
reads
that's
what
the
you're
key of
doing and
it.
like makes a nicer formats, it synopsis it and stuff. So like I'm just doing the basics right now, how to like create it's essentially I used to always type and I'd still do in Excel and Microsoft Word or Google Word doc and stuff like that. But it's like
Mhm.
all those in one, but shareable, much more flexible. So
Yeah.
it's a pretty amazing kind of software they have there. And so I'm just really
Yeah.
plugging in. And I'm using the free version too. I haven't even paid for a paid version. I'm not sure what that entails. So
Yeah.
if it works, I'm going to have my team get it. It's just kind of hard because you have to add so many different. We have so many different things on my team, and my associate was like, "Are we going to add another piece of software?" That's like, I'm getting overwhelmed already. I'm like, "Well, I'm going to test it out. It's really good. We'll do
Yeah.
it." How is your team handling all the various softwares that you have?
Well, yeah, we're mainly based on using Monday.com as our platform. And we find that that works really well because Monday is really like a giant set of Excel spreadsheets, right? You can
Right.
have different boards, as they call them, and we have all our cases tracked there. We have all of our statuses for every case type tracked. And it's really easy to assign tasks, to send emails that are automated. And it's just great for reminding us of things to do. So, and I, as you know, offer coaching on Monday or other tech
Yeah.
systems. You can always do that and book
Your
that.
website has a good breakdown of the programs and stuff. Well, what's your website that's for training on this
Yeah,
kind
so the website is tiplawyers.com. And the Facebook group is also TIP, which basically stands for Technology for Immigration Practitioners. So you can join the Facebook group, you can direct message me, or you can go to tiplawyers.com and you can book a session with me there.
What do you use for communication? Do you have Slack or because Trello? I mean, I use Trello, but Monday
Yeah,
is
so
great. But do you,
we communicate within Monday on casework. So we do use Slack occasionally when maybe I just have to tell somebody something really quickly. It may not even be necessarily related to a case. So we always have our Slack open, but Monday is our key method of communicating on a case. So we can
yeah,
tag each other, we can tell each other things to do.
you keep
We
the
write.
record in order. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
yeah, yeah,
But so let's get to the article. It's about Calendly, which is a calendar system. I use Calendly as well.
yeah.
Could you give a background on people what that is if they're not
Yeah,
familiar?
sure. So, there are other systems out there. Some people use Acuity, which is very similar. I just happen to prefer Calendly. Acuity is good. I used to use another one that was kind of funny name. I'm trying to, Apt Toto, kind of a cool name. But basically, what Calendly is and systems like it's a tool that you can use it's not a calendar system, okay? So Calendly, sometimes people get confused. They think that Calendly is some kind of a calendar system.
Hmm.
Calendly is meant to be used with maybe your Gmail, Google Calendar, or your Outlook calendar. It syncs to those calendars, but it's a tool to create appointments. So you create different types of events, they call them in Calendly. So for
Hmm.
me, for example, I have about 10 different calendar events in my name on Calendly. I have one for a client paid consultation for the phone. I have another one for a client paid consultation on Zoom because I charge a different price for that. I have
Yeah.
another one for a paid client consultation in the office because it comes with special instructions on how to get to our office. And we've even used Calendly for existing client phone callback appointments. And
Mhm.
that's really been a game changer for us. So you can have many different appointment types. You give somebody like your receptionist the Calendly booking link, or you can even give it directly to a lead or a client or put it on your website and they click on it. And I'm sure many of us have seen that before, right? Click on my booking link, click here, you
Yeah.
book, you get the selected times available, and you book the appointment.
What I found is I use it for family and friends and stuff, and they get really annoyed that I'm sending them that. But I'm like, it's the best way to do it. Like, why?
Oh, I know. Well, yeah, I haven't gone that far, but I do use it for colleagues. Like, if somebody's calling me, like today, somebody called me on something, and I told my assistant, like, book them on my Calendly here, a 15-minute phone call back appointment, because otherwise you're constantly chasing people back and
Yeah.
forth, right?
Did you use Acuity? Did you test it out?
I did. I tried it out. I think I even many years ago had an Acuity account. And I don't know what brought me to Calendly, but by the time I needed to use a calendar system, I've been using Calendly for several years now. I just like it. I do know one fun fact that it was actually invented by an immigrant. I think
Hmm.
he was from an African country. Is that right? From
Maybe
Nigeria
Nigeria or
or
something
something?
like that. Yeah.
It's kind of cool, his story. Yeah. But it's a great app. And the other thing I like about Calendly, it has a very good open API, which means that you can sync Calendly to other apps. So for me, I can have my Calendly events automated so that the appointments appear in my Monday system. So when somebody books a Calendly consultation with me, it automatically goes into my Monday system. It's tracked as a new lead. It's tracked as the meeting date and time.
Do you use Zapier to connect them?
No, you can use Zapier for connecting Calendly to various apps. My connections are actually all done with my Monday system through make.com, which is kind of like, it used to be called Integromat. Make.com is kind of like Zapier on steroids. Like, it's a way more, you can do a lot more with Make, but it's not something I could create myself. So you do need someone with some computer programming knowledge. I do have someone that I work with that I use for my, law firm legal clients as well. He helps me with all those integrations. But you can definitely use Zapier on your own to connect it to various other apps.
Because I have it where someone schedules on Calendly and then goes Zapier goes to Trello. But like we have questions in Calendly that when someone's signing up for consultation, a series of questions we ask to make sure like it's the kind of case we handle. And I like those questions to move over to our to the Trello board or Monday board.
Yeah.
But the questions come, the answers don't. So there's some sort of glitch in it that doesn't let that happen. Which is kind of
that's where you would, see, Zapier only has pre-built zaps that are limited. So there's often so much more you can do, but you would need a tool like Make to do that, because we couldn't use Zapier for my Monday integration. Now, all those comments do come through on my Monday integration. So whatever someone types in there, all the comments that the actual person types in does come through. And that's because we do it through make.com.
I wanted to jump in for a quick second and talk about one of our wonderful new sponsors, ImmigrationEvaluationDirectory.com. Did you know research reports psychological evaluations can increase an asylum applicant's chance of approval by 78%? Psychological evaluations are hugely beneficial in hardship, cancellation, asylum, and other types of immigration cases, whether with USCIS or the Immigration Court. Connecting with qualified clinicians has never been easier thanks to the ImmigrationEvaluationDirectory.com. Free to use, you can filter the directory by location, language, case type, and more, then review profiles and reach out. The Immigration Evaluation Directory is your one-stop resource to find the best therapist to help. Explore more today at ImmigrationEvaluationDirectory.com and get the help that you need. Now, going back to Acuity, just everyone always talks, it's always Calendly Acuity, and AppToto, I remember I bought that because I had a good deal, like lifetime service. I bought it, but I never used it, so I'm not sure what happened with that. But I'm always wondering, like, what's the difference? But it's like learning a new software is kind of hard, so I just stuck with Calendly because it's pretty flexible.
Yeah. The cool thing with AppToto, and I used it for many years, it's not quite as user-friendly, but it's really more like the doctor's or dentist's office reminders, where it reminds you to confirm, right? Calendly just will send your client a reminder to come to your appointment or whatever, but AppToto has that cool feature where your client will get a text saying, you have an appointment with Nadine on such and such, please confirm here. And you click to confirm or you click to cancel. So it's really more modeled after like what I find doctors and dentists use.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And you can also create it in different languages and stuff like that, which I'm sure you could do with Calendly as well. But Calendly just has a really robust, so many features.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, they send updates. Like one feature that I want to use is like I have a question tree. So before they get to a consultation, there's like yes or no, and leads you down a tree of like ways you can go. Because one thing, like I always have people email us and then to get what their situation is, and then I send them a link to sign for a paid consultation. But like this week, we've had like our heater broke, so I went to different websites. And a lot of them said, call me the way I tell people or email me and we'll get back to you. And I was like, oh, that's annoying. I wish I would just go and schedule a time for a person to come. I'm like, you know what? Like, I got to take how other services do it and bring that here. Because that's I'm losing people along the way who find me. Because I found a bunch of people I didn't go to the website, it wasn't helpful. But I hired someone whose website let me schedule a meeting or an appointment for the guy to come right then. So I'm like, I need to add that to my website. But for example, we don't do asylum. And so I'm like, it's always hard because they might schedule time. They don't have to follow back and cancel it. There's a credit card transaction fee.
Yeah.
All that's nuisance. But when we were talking, just popped in my head, I could use that call tree system to kind of weed it out, but still get people to go through the website to schedule a time as well.
Yeah, they do have that kind of, they call it a workflow system. They do have that.
Workflow.
I've actually integrated another feature using JotForm, which is a questionnaire
That's
system.
great.
And when somebody books a Calendly consultation with me, they immediately get sent an email with a link to their JotForm that is already pre-populated with their name, email, and phone, which they already gave us in Calendly. And it asks them some more detailed questions like, what kind of case do you have? What kind of relatives do you have? Do you have with this and that? And it also gives you the opportunity to even add a secondary client, because lots of times somebody's calling, but they're actually calling for maybe their immigrant spouse or their parent, right? Or they're calling for somebody else. So it asks them a question: is this case about you, or is it about, are you, booking this for someone else? And if they say someone else is included, they can enter that person's name, email, and phone, and then that person also goes into our Monday system as a secondary person.
Yeah.
So we try to get all that information up front.
How deep does that jot form go? Is it like hardcore questionnaire, like about immigration, or just big stuff?
Yeah, the reason I use JotForm because it has conditional logic, so it can go deep if needed. And I'm actually surprised at how many people do fill it out. Like, I would say about 75% of people do fill it out fully, but we still have the opportunity to edit it when we're on the phone with them. But for example, we ask a question like, have you ever been in removal proceedings? Yes or no? They may not even know what that means and they may ignore it. That's fine. Like, I don't make any of my answers mandatory because I don't want anyone to feel like they have to fill this out, right?
Yeah.
I tell them up front, just answer what you know and we'll do the rest. So, but if they say, yes, I've been in removal proceedings, a new question will open up saying, when was your last hearing? Or do you have a hearing coming up? So stuff like that can make the form not seem so big and daunting because you can have that conditional logic.
The JotForm is so powerful, and I get emails from them. I signed up and I have it, but I don't use it yet because it's on my to-do list. But I keep getting emails from them like how integrated it is, how powerful it is, really dominating the form
what's
system.
really cool is it can be easily translated by the client into a different language. So there's a little button at the top right when the client gets their JotForm that they can click on and say, and you can specify which languages, and you can make sure that your questions are properly translated. It'll translate it for you. So if you pick Spanish, JotForm will tell you, here's what I think the question should be in Spanish, but you know how sometimes wording doesn't work out. So you can actually change that and save it. So when your client clicks on Spanish, all the questions will be properly formatted in Spanish, and then they can answer in Spanish too.
That's incredible. The level of service that this tech stuff allows you to do is so great. No, I have a team now, and it's opened my opportunity up to go and get more deep into this kind of stuff and analyze them, not handling cases 24/7. So they just say this stuff. I'm like, oh, that's a boatload of stuff. I got to get to the job for. I got to go to the translation aspect because we have multiple language speakers. So I'm like, they can test out the Russian version, they can test out the Urdu version, all this kind of stuff, and really help our clients. One neat thing, I use Calendly and I send like links for a 15-minute quick chat or something like that. And I've had people take that link and then give it to their friends. All of a sudden, I'll get consultation bookings. And so my associate brought to my attention that they have a feature that's a one-time link that's like one-time use.
Yeah.
So once they use it, they can't share it because no one else uses it again. So I'm like, okay,
great idea. Yeah. They also have a nice poll feature. Like, you're familiar with the doodle poll, right? When you're trying to coordinate a meeting, the doodle poll is great, but you get these annoying ads and it's not very, Calendly has a cool poll feature. I've been using it now. So you can actually, tell Calendly, okay, these are the times that I'm available, and then send it out to 5 people so that those 5 people can pick when they're available, and then you pick the best time for everyone. But what Calendly can also do is reserve those times on your own calendar, right? Because the thing I hate with polls is that I may say, yeah, I'm available this day, that day, that day, that day, at that time. And then by the time when it all gets booked, meanwhile, I haven't blocked off all those times, right? So now I'm not available anymore at the time you pick. So this way I'm more using the Calendly poll rather than the Doodle poll, because I could block the time off on my calendar. And then when we pick it, I just delete the times we didn't pick.
Now, I'm just thinking about it. We should get paid for this 20-minute long advertisement for Calendly we're
I
doing
know,
right.
and they don't even have a referral link. So I don't get anything from this. I just love it, you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
I just want to say something about the reason I wrote this blog post on calendaring is because I called it calendar freedom, because so many attorneys that I speak with are afraid to give out those Calendly links, right? Because they're worried that people are going to overbook, or just like you said, they're going to share it with somebody, right? Or their calendar is just suddenly going to be, blocked off with all these appointments and they're not going to have time to do their work. The secret is blocking off time in advance if you need it, right? Like I have a regular time slot every day blocked off for email review. If I know I've got a case I've got to work on, I'll block off 3 hours next week, 2 hours here, casework. Just call it casework, just to give me some time, right? You can even tell Calendly, only schedule, maybe it's a consultation, only schedule 2 a week consultations, or don't schedule more than 2 a day. Like there are so many features that you can use so that you can actually have that freedom to just let it go. Because I hear this all the time. I'm not putting my link out there. I'm not putting that on my website. But use it efficiently and you will love it. Because like you said, nobody wants to be chasing people back and forth. You're even using it for family, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. It's I learned about this calendaring like years ago, and it took me like 2 years to get into it because my Google Calendar that I use, like it was such a mess. I'm like, how's it going to work with this? And then there's you can both block off stuff on your calendar, and Calendly realizes that time is full, or you just set up times where, like for me, Wednesdays and Thursdays, Fridays, I say there's nothing there that can be booked. I tell Calendly ahead of time, someone can book that time anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, more and more I just block out. I'll say, okay, only between 7 a.m. to this time is meeting times. Do only 2 maximum with 15-minute gaps in between, so I have time between meetings and not back to back.
Right. The buffers are awesome. Right. I put a 15-minute buffer before and after. You never know if a meeting goes a little late. That way I don't feel like I'm back to back so much. I personally block every Friday off. I don't always use it. I usually wind up coming into the office, but even if I do come into the office on a Friday, I'll never have appointments booked, right? Unless I want to. I mean, you can always override your own calendar and put something on there, but nobody else can do it, right?
Yeah. I had a person today want an emergency meeting. I don't have any consultation time until 2 weeks from now. So I said, just book one time on there, so you can pay the fee through it, and I don't have to send an invoice, and then I'll just manually change the date to today. So that you have all sorts of flexibility with it.
Yeah. And speaking of paying the fee, you can also add your payment method into your Calendly system, right? So I happen to use Stripe. You can use, but it can't be, it doesn't work with LawPay. But I mean, for a consultation fee, you should be able to use something like Stripe or Square, which is what
I think it allows PayPal and Stripe. I'm sorry,
PayPal, Stripe, and Square. Maybe not Square.
I think it's PayPal because I was using PayPal. PayPal's rates were so high, so I went to Stripe. Stripe just has that delay. In PayPal, I get the money immediately, but Stripe will take like a week or two. I'm not sure why it takes that long.
Not for me. I think when you've been with Stripe for a while, I generally get them in 2 days. Always.
Okay. Yeah, I've only got them like a couple months now. I think it's getting faster. I was like annoying at first. I'm like, it's just a consult. Why is it taking so long to come in?
The more you do, the more volume you do, because I use Stripe for so much.
The rate is better. It beats like 0.5% better than PayPal. That adds up. So
and Stripe is great for international clients because LawPay is horrible when you get somebody in another country trying to pay in LawPay. I even have my Canadian clients often, even though I tell LawPay, please accept client payments from Canada, or they still have trouble making the payment. Sometimes it won't go through. But Stripe is used to clients being international, so they're pretty good.
One mess up that happens is when the PayPal link comes up, PayPal says put your email or register or something. Like I don't have a PayPal account, but if they just scroll down, they can just go straight credit card, but they don't go through it. So I was 1 out of 20 times confuse people, and there's a lot of back and forth. But Stripe is just direct. You don't have to have an account.
I like Stripe. It's their interface is good. And again, Stripe has a really good open API. So their backend, I have an integration with Stripe and Monday, so I can do my invoicing through Monday, and it works really efficiently.
Wonderful, wonderful. I got to get to, I'm such small fries that my business that I would just tell people like, I Zelle me the money and then I'll send an email confirmation. And then like I'm getting more volume now. I'm like, oh, I got to create systems for credit cards and invoices and keep track of this stuff and get a bookkeeper, all this. I'm like, oh, a lot of work to figure out how to do this bigger stuff.
I know. Well, that's the thing. As you get more volume, you want to have some systems in place, right?
For sure.
So, and there are even there's even bookkeeping services you can use like bench.co. I
Mhm.
happen to use them. So I don't really have a bookkeeper. It's all handled by Bench. Bench does my profit and loss statements and my income statements every month and all that. But my invoicing system is all through Monday and Stripe, and I still use LawPay through DocketWise, but I mainly use Stripe for fees that I can collect right away. So it's pretty automated.
Yeah, it's the future. I mean, everyone listening is either they've been practicing or they're new to it. This is like what you have to do. There's no way around it to
Yeah,
practice it in modern way.
yeah, yeah. Save time. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show again. It's always so you learn so much from this. This is a must listen to for anybody who's has a practice and is growing it. And again, you're going to be in Orlando.
Yes,
What day
I
is
will be
the
there for
AILA
the whole
conference?
conference. Yeah, I think my panel is, I'm trying to say Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be really awesome. We're going to be talking about AI. But find me and message me on our Facebook group, and I'll be happy to talk with you.
For sure. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I signed up for this one newsletter on prompt writing for AI and stuff like for ChatGPT. And every day it says fascinating stuff. I'll read like one. It said like if you're trying to get different perspectives, you could ask like, here's an issue I have in my thoughts. Like, argue it from the perspective of Steve Jobs or argue it from Elon Musk's perspective, and it could just analyze what they would say and
Oh,
give you that
wow.
feedback. It's pretty amazing. And
Yeah,
yeah, a
that
lot
is
of stuff.
really interesting. Yeah, I've heard somebody doing that where they actually they were talking about their CEO and they put into ChatGPT, write this blog post from the perspective of our CEO named blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And because that CEO has articles published, they actually wrote in that writing style.
wonderful. It's incredible. I mean,
It's also good for translations. Like, what I
yeah.
started doing now, I don't speak Portuguese, but I have several Portuguese clients, and I used to have someone else send them emails for me. Not Monday, sorry. ChatGPT is apparently much better than Google Translate. I don't know if this is true, but this is what I hear. And I started putting paragraphs into ChatGPT and saying, translate this into Portuguese. And then I just put that in the
Yeah.
email. I still put the English so that I know what I said. I put,
Yeah,
what both
the
languages.
binding language, yeah.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
clients love it. They think, wow, as Nadine suddenly is really
I've
accommodating me.
I've done it in Farsi, and it's like 98% there, enough where like even if I didn't change it, it would have been okay, just like some
Yeah,
nuanced kind of stuff. But it is so
yeah,
fast; it just does it in a
yeah.
proper way, proper
Like you
formatting. You
said,
just copy paste.
yeah, like you said, even if it's not 100%, they're probably going to realize you're using some kind of translate service, and
Yeah,
it's not like it's a legal document. It's for an email is probably sufficient.
for sure. Well, thank you so much for coming
All
on
right.
again. We'll see you soon. Definitely
Yeah.
have you on regularly. But that's it. So I'll see you in Orlando as well in a couple
Okay.
months.
Looking forward to seeing you then.
Thanks,
Bye.
Nadine. Bye bye.
Okay.
Have you ever felt that the road to establishing a successful immigration law firm is riddled with unexpected obstacles and setbacks? I've been there, and I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. Picture this. My wife, then girlfriend, and I had just landed for a vacation, only to be greeted by a voicemail that changed everything. In an instant, once the plane landed, she lost her job. The very one job that was supposed to support us while I launched my own solo immigration law firm. Suddenly, our financial cushion vanished, and I was thrust into the high-stakes world of entrepreneurship with no safety net. Despite a slow start and a discouraging lack of leads and referrals, I remained determined to build a law firm that provided a 5-star client experience. After countless hours spent researching, watching, and implementing marketing strategies with mixed results, I eventually began to see my firm's revenues not only surpass my previous revenue and salary as an associate, but double it. Today, I run a successful law firm with a team of associates and support staff, and I'm the proud founder of the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox magazine, podcasts, courses, workshops, and more. But my journey wasn't easy. I made many mistakes, wasted time and money, and wished I had a mentor to guide me through the challenges. Although I was fortunate enough to find a few peers who offered support, I couldn't shake the feeling that there had to be a better way. That's why I decided to be the change I'd wish I'd seen. This month, I'm thrilled to announce the launch of the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox Private Mentorship and Peer Group. This exclusive group is designed to bring solo and small firm practitioners in a monthly, private, and intimate setting to openly discuss business strategies, share successes, even exchange invaluable tactics that they wouldn't share anywhere else. By joining this premium group, you'll not only benefit from my hard-earned expertise, but also forging long-lasting relationships with like-minded professionals who are committed to elevating their practices. Space is limited for this game-changing opportunity. If you're ready to make a real, lasting impact on your business, simply email me at info@immigrationlawyerstoolbox.com. Again, that's info@immigrationlawyerstoolbox.com. And I'll send you all the information you need to get started. Don't miss this chance to transform your immigration law firm and reach new heights of success.